Welcome to our project presentation for CS5526 Data Analytics 2. This video will try to give everyone a brief description of what we did for our class project and to give an introduction to the visualization of our results. The main goal for the project was to learn advanced concepts in data analytics and to apply them in real-world problems. We primarily focus on data sets generated by sampling Twitter. Our main tasks in this project was to apply geocoding, sentiment analysis, influential user, and region of interest to Twitter data. Geocoding. We collected data from Twitter and tried to estimate from which part of the world the user tweeted. We do so even in cases where there was no latitude or longitude information available. Sentiment analysis. We tried to infer the sentiment with which the user tweeted. That is, we tried to predict if the user was in a positive or a negative mindset when he posted his tweet. Influential user. We then went on to find out who are the influential users in the Twitter network when it comes to particular topics. Region of interest. We finally tried to visualize how a particular topic varied with respect to geographic region over a period of time. When we open the website, we can see two drop-down lists. One is for the topics, the other is the type of analysis we want to perform on the topic. The topics drop-down list has 8 different datasets. The first 4 are civil unrest movements which took place in South America. The next 4 are about the Boston bombing that happened on 15th of Third is for which type of analysis we want to perform. We explored 2 sets of data in this project. The first was Twitter data collected from South America. This data was collected over a period of 9 months. It is a sample of the tweets posted from June 21st, 2012 till March 21st, 2013 from the continent of South America. The second dataset that we worked on was a smaller dataset. This dataset mainly contained tweets about the Boston bombings which happened on April 15, 2013. When we open the web page, we first see 2 drop-down menus. The first drop-down menu is about the topics that we can choose from. The second drop-down menu is a type of analysis that we want to perform on them. Right now there are 8 different data sets that we have. The first 4 are about civil unrest movements that happened in South America. The next 4 are about the Boston bombings. When we click on the Colombia dataset, we can see that majority of the tweets originated from the country of Colombia. There are a few from outliers from countries like Puerto Rico and Peru. If we zoom in, we can see that the majority of the tweets came around the area of Medellin. If we further zoom in, we can see individual tweets and where they originated from. If we select sentiment analysis and scroll down, we can see a list of words. These words are the frequently occurring words in the tweets that we collected. As you can see, the word Medela and Medellin occurred a lot. The size of these words actually determines the frequency with which they were used. Thus, words like Medela and Medellin were used more frequently as compared to the words like Protesta and Colombia. The Colombia dataset is about a civil unrest movement that happened on 2nd October 2012. It happened around Medellin. On scrolling down, we can see a chart. This chart is a distribution of sentiment analysis score. The sentiment analysis score is a score from positive 10 to negative 10. It determines how positive your sentiment is in the tweet. A sentiment analysis score of plus 10 implies that a tweet is highly positive, while a sentiment analysis score of minus 10 implies that tweet has a highly negative sentiment. A score of 0 on the sentiment analysis score implies that the tweet was neutral. The red frequency histograms are actually the empirical data collected from the tweets from the dataset. We try to fit different curves to this data. The green color smooth line that you observe is a logistic function that we try to fit. The red smooth line that you see is actually a normal curve that we try to fit to the dataset. As you can see, a majority of the tweets were actually neutral. On further scrolling down, we can see a pie chart. This pie chart is a percentage distribution of tweets as positive, negative, and neutral. There are a lot more neutral tweets in the dataset, which we can also see from the graph above, which have a sentiment analysis score of 0. If we change our analysis to influential user, we can see a different graph. This graph is a distribution of K-Loud score. Is actually a probability density distribution. The area under the curve sums out to 1. The K-Loud score determines how influential the user is. Higher the score means that the user is more influential. As you can see from the graph, there are a lot of users having a K-Loud score which tends to 0. This means these users are not influential users. You can see that the mode is around 40. There has been a few influential users who have had very high K-Loud scores. The blue histograms represent the empirical data that we gathered from the tweets. We tried to fit a normal curve which is represented by the blue curve and the logistic function which is represented by a green. These are probability density distributions over the K-Loud score. Just like the Colombia dataset, we have the Venezuela dataset. The Venezuela dataset is about a civil unrest movement that happened in Venezuela. The results of the sentiment analysis of the Venezuela dataset are as follows. We now shift our attention to our second dataset, the Boston bombing. As you can see a lot of activity around the Massachusetts area. In the second hour, you can see that there are a lot more people throughout the country tweeting about the incident. At about the third hour, the number of people who are tweeting have also increased, and the distribution across the country has increased too. The sentiment analysis shows that the word bomb was used more frequently in the first hour as compared to the third hour. These are the results of the sentiment analysis performed on the Boston tweets.